This book launch is hosted by AOSIS. AOSIS unlocks knowledge to the world. Please bear in mind that this book launch video is being recorded. The video will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel and our website for you to share with your colleagues. A warm welcome to our presenters. We are launching the Humanities Open Access book, Music, Art and Emotion, Depictions of the Night Inspired by Romantic Art Song from the Northwest University in South Africa. Please join us to listen to a discussion about the book from its subject specialists.
Thank you very much, Larika. And before I just introduce myself, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you and AOSIS. This has really been a wonderful opportunity for us and your professionalism. And I would also especially like to thank the artists that were involved with this book: Jean Lampen, Marina de Wet, Kevin Duplessis, and Alna Venter. I'm Prof. Conroy Cupido, and I'm an associate professor at Northwest University. I've been here for the last 12 years. I teach opera singing and everything associated with that. I also publish and supervise postgraduate students, and my research concerns the well-being of classical singers and the music that they sing. And my co-host today is Dr. Jaco Meyer, a fantastic researcher that I love collaborating with. He also contributed a chapter to the book, which I'm very grateful for. And I'd like to also thank Dr. Willem Venter, who also contributed a chapter in the book. Jaco, over to you.
Thank you, Conroy. It was lovely to work on this book. It is such a fantastic interdisciplinary project, which was very well needed. And I'm really excited to see this book coming out. And I know that Music, Art and Emotion is a culmination of a project on romantic art, song and visual art. And this was conducted a few years ago. So how did this project develop into a book eventually?
So as I mentioned, my research concerns the well-being of classical singers and also the music that we sing. And the music that we sing is predominantly Western art music or art song and opera. And a few years ago, I was busy with a project where I was really interested in the ways in which people and listeners ascribe meaning to music. And I also did an interdisciplinary project back then, where I presented 4 artists with art songs and wanted to see how they ascribed meaning to music. And one of the findings was that when presented with art song, many listeners are automatically drawn to the text, although the music plays a very strong role in the ways in which they ascribe music, meaning to music. But this is because text is referential. If you understand the text, it says explicitly what it means. But there's so much meaning hidden in music. And as a result of that project, I wanted to investigate how people would ascribe meaning to art song when they don't understand the text. And having an interdisciplinary project where you investigate this through artistic research and also include visual art was wonderful, because you find so much information in the tacit knowledge that is involved with creating art that you don't necessarily find when you do a typical qualitative research study where you only ask questions and other kinds of data collection. So having this artistically driven research was also wonderful.
So you already touched on the idea that the music is referential and that the text is supplementing that. So this book also presents the idea that music is referential, specifically in terms of meaning and emotions. So we're talking a lot about emotions. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, please?
Yes, so as you all know, this whole debate on whether music can evoke anything, any meaning outside of itself has already been a hot topic debate for centuries. This started back with the War of the Romantics, and surprisingly Brahms, who composed such uh, emotionful music didn't believe that music could convey anything outside of itself. But of course, you and I are both referentialists, meaning that we do believe that music can convey meaning and emotion. And this is often done through two ways. There are more ways, but I focused on two ways in the book. The first one is through the acoustic properties of music, which we call sonic anaphones. So you can think of many instances in the William Tell Overture, in Schubert's music, where the instruments would simulate things like a thunderstorm or bird sounds or rushing water streams. And then, of course, music has the power, whether the composer intended to or not, music has the power to convey emotion. And this is done through the music's structural features. So whether the tempo is fast or slow, if it's in a major or minor mode, if there's dissonance, if there's loud music or soft music, complex rhythms, articulation differences. And this can elicit not just basic emotions, but also complex emotions or music-derived emotions such as happiness, sadness, anger, fear, tenderness, transcendence, wonder, awe. And then there's also music as metaphor. And you are the music theory specialist, so I'm going to let you talk a little bit about Larson's theory.
So yes, I'm not only a referentialist in the sense that I believe that music can convey something outside of the music, but I also attempt to do a lot of that in my own work as a composer. And in the chapter that I contributed was more on the research part of Steve Larson, who developed the theory of musical forces. And this specific chapter talks a lot about the musical forces and how the romantic art songs that are discussed can be seen through the lens of musical forces. So for example, to keep it simple, Larson basically said that there's a magnetic pull that constantly interacts on music. And that magnetic pull, if the music gives into that and you have this downwards descent, then you will most likely have music that evokes a sad emotion. But on the other side, if you have something that is full of energy and that moves away and can counteract that magnetic pull, then you will have something that's probably mostly associated with happy music or music that evoke happy emotions. And I tried to find a very simple way to get that across, and I'll talk about that in my next question as well. But to get that across to the readers, and also to work from the perspective of the listener. So not only to present an analysis that is full of data, but also to see this is how we really listen to it and to understand your own listening experience a little bit better. And as I said, yeah, we both try to present this book in a very approachable way. Although this is a very academic book, there's a lot of analyses of compositions, there's the artworks, discussion about the artworks, and it's an interdisciplinary project which can very easily become a complicated conglomerate of things. But I want you to just describe how do you see the target market of this book and why the interdisciplinary research in this context was necessary?
That's a very, very good question. And before I answer that, I just want to build upon what you just said regarding you depicting emotions in your own work. I think for both of us, it's been very interesting, and this is research that we are so excited about because music can evoke emotions in people. And for the listeners out there, Dr. Yakume and myself, we are both busy with a second master's degree in positive psychology. And because music has the power to evoke positive emotions, as he mentioned, in people, this opens so many avenues for research on how music is related to positive psychology and well-being. Currently, I'm working on research that investigates how music can facilitate self-actualization. When music also promotes positive emotions, music has the power to serve as or to be used in positive psychology interventions, which is very exciting. Now, to answer your question, the target market for this book is predominantly scholars. It's a scholarly book, people that are interested in research in this field. But as you mentioned, the book is also very practical, and the reason that I do my research is so that I can empower singer teachers or classical singer teachers, as well as students who study classical singing. And what was highlighted in this book was that singers, although we should always strive to have what we sing articulated and that the audience can understand what we're saying, but there is tremendous power in the prosodic elements of our voice. So the color of our voice, or all those qualities that are there when you don't necessarily know what the words mean. And this was something that came out strongly in the findings of the book as well. And with that knowledge, singers should know that they have the power to elicit emotion in an audience, even when the audience does not understand what they are saying.
Absolutely. And I must say, I feel that the words like interdisciplinary and those type of multidisciplinary are words that are buzzwords at the moment, that many people just randomly throw around, unfortunately. And I can really say that I feel that Music, Art and Emotions is really one of those books where it's interdisciplinary. The disciplinaries are so well integrated. It's very difficult to really take them apart. And I need to congratulate you on this wonderful book. And it was an honor to be able to contribute a chapter to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who took the time to come listen to our book today.
Much.
Thank you. So if anybody has questions, then you are welcome to email the editor. His contact details are in the book. So thank you for your time and this insightful discussion. We are sure this book will achieve great heights.